room and get comfortable. All right. Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. We're going to take a look at this year's Coaching Week opening gala, which was held on Sunday at the 4 Points by Sheraton Hotel in Victoria Island, Lagos. And then we'll come on back to me and I'll go ahead and introduce and get ourselves started.
We, as ELCAN, we have the mission really to promote, transformative living in Africa. It's beyond just coaches, it's about Africa. And this is why when we wanted to start this week, we did not call it the Nigerian Coaching Week. We called it African Coaching Week because it is bigger than Nigeria.
We're in an age where people lean into trust. As opposed to building a clientele or a database of clients, why don't you start thinking about community?
The balance that coaching brings prepares the average African to operate anywhere in the world.
Value to the client beyond standards is the key.
The significance of this coaching week, it's every year it means that it makes us to come together, network, and share ideas.
Beautiful event, bringing together these coaches and having such a fantastic event where they are appreciated. I think it's such a fantastic and deserved event.
From the start, it was to build a global brand. It wasn't to start a business. It was to become a case study for the next generation in Africa.
The future is moving so fast that it's hard to catch up, and coaches need to be future-proof. In other words, we're not going to be left behind.
We need to plan ahead, and we need to write down how we need to get to that level.
You must be emotionally intelligent, emotionally resilient to be able to say to yourself, this is where I want to place myself, and have no fear.
All right, look at that. So congratulations to everybody who helped to bring this year's Africa Coaching Week opening gala together. And thank you for all of those who took part. All right, we're going to go ahead and get the audience involved. So for all of you who've taken time out your day, your mornings, your afternoons, and your evenings to join us, we want you to go ahead and type in. So go to your comments, type in where you're joining from, and what is one thing that you are most looking forward to for today. So when you decided to put this time aside in your day to come on today for the Global Summit, what did you want to get out of it? What's that one thing that you said you wanted to take away? All right, I'm saying great to be here. What is it you want to get out of it though? Waiting on the comments to pop up. Anything? I think one of the things I'll share that I'm most looking forward to for today is, okay, great, we're getting some knowledge. One of the things I'm most looking forward to is the exchange across the globe. Sometimes we can think things are so different in the different places that we live, but what brings us together is those commonalities and also acknowledging the differences. So really looking forward to that and to being able to hear what that's like in different places. As you take a moment to drop what you're looking forward to, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. I am Autumn Marie, and I am the founder and CEO of a communications agency here in the land of 1,000 hills, Kigali, Rwanda, called Kigali Forward. I am originally from Chicago and have been living here in Rwanda for the last 7.5 years. So my life is very global, and all the more reason why I'm excited to hear from people from around the world. All right, we have some things that popped up in the chat. So we have Emmanuel, who's looking forward to knowledge. And then we have someone else who's looking forward to global perspective to coaching. I'm with you on that. Next level strategies for 2026. Fresh perspective. We have Ernest from Abuja, who is looking forward to some new insights and perspectives. Yes, I am looking forward to all of those things. With that said, let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to go ahead and introduce the LCAN president for opening remarks. She is the president of the Life Coaches Association of Nigeria, leading the influence of coaching across Africa, an alumna of HEC Paris and managing partner at GLG Communications. She was named one of the 100 most influential people of African descent. I'm going to say that part again. One of the 100. That's such a small number when we think of how large the global diaspora is. One of the 100 most influential people of African descent by MIPAD. And she is a board member of the PRCA UK, the world's largest and most influential PR professional body. Please give a warm welcome to Omawumi Ogbe. Hey, Oma.
Hi, Autumn Marie. So good to have you here. Thank you so much for doing this and for being a part of the Africa Coaching Week. We're so excited. This is the beauty of what we're doing, isn't it? There you are joining in, living in Kigali, joining in from Kigali. I am, Nigerian, joining in from France, and we have speakers from all over the world who are, joining, because this is not about one of us. This is about all of us, about the world. It is global, and so I'm very excited to be here. And really excited for all that we're going to do today. First of all, I'm going to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you from wherever you're joining in. I do know some of our speakers, it's 7 a.m. for them. For some, it's 9 p.m. And, for some of us, it's 4 p.m. or 4:12 p.m. I'd like you to drop in the chat where you're joining in from, where you're joining in from and what time it is where you are. From Lagos to London, from Lagos to London, New York to Nairobi, just the sheer beauty of seeing us come together to celebrate the Africa Coaching Week, the beauty. And it's beyond, right now, it's beyond Africa. It's now global, because we're bringing people together, ensuring that we're learning from people in Europe, in America, and Asia, and they're also learning from us, And so this is today, the Global Summit is the grand finale of our week and all of the amazing things that we've been discussing. Just fast forward, future-proof coaching in today's intelligent economy. What a powerful theme that we are looking at. And today we're transitioning, the conversation to construction. We want to leave people with tangible tools to, like somebody said in the chat, next level strategies for 2026, actionable blueprints to be able to, build strategy for wealth and scaling your business, regardless of what it is that you do. And so thank you for being here. I want you to maximize every minute. Please share the link with your friends, with your enemies, with your loved ones, and everybody that you know, because This is next level. Our speakers are amazing. And, let the transformation begin. This global summit is being powered by Woof Studios Africa. And we thank all our speakers. We thank all our partners and our panelists. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, Emmanuel says from Lagos. Enable, Loretta is from Lagos. Minomi is from Warri, Delta State, Nigeria. Sisi Ade is from Lagos. And, there's different people who is joining from Nairobi and all of that stuff. Thank you so much. And let's have a great Africa Coaching Week Global Summit. Back to you, Autumn.
Thank you, Oma, and congratulations again for all of the strides and achievements that you made. And thank you again for inviting me to be a part of this. I am very honored and excited. All right, next up is our keynote conversation between Patti Brown and Kemi Oye. I'm going to introduce Kemi before she comes. Kemi Oye is a transformative executive and career coach with over 20 years of strategic human resources leadership and business growth experience. As a chartered member of the CIPD in the UK, Kemi holds a bachelor's and an MA, a master's in international human resource management, as well as a diploma in coaching. Kemi had a conversation earlier with Patti, and we're going to take a look at it now to see what they chatted about.
Once again, welcome to ACW 2025. I have the honor of anchoring this powerful session where we get to sit down with a truly remarkable voice in the world of global business education. The topic for this segment of the conference is Fast Forward Strategy, how global leaders are designing success in today's intelligent economy. And we're about to take that conversation even deeper with somebody who brings wisdom, warmth, and world-class insight to the table. And that's none other than Patti Brown. She is the Associate Dean for Accredited Programs at the University of Oxford Saïd Business School. With over 2 decades of experience, Patti has built a distinguished career dedicated to transforming educational ecosystems and equipping institutions to prepare leaders for an evolving world of work. Her expertise spans strategic planning, marketing, partnership development, and program innovation, with a focus on bridging academia, industry, and society to create more relevant and inclusive business education modules. She's also the Vice President of the Global Alliance for Transforming Business Education, where she leads strategic initiatives that advance innovation, collaboration, and impact within global business education. Patti, we are so glad to have you.
My goodness. That was quite a buildup. I'm excited to listen to myself. Expectations are high and I'm worried. Okay. Goodness.
How are you today?
I am freezing. It is winter has hit Oxford in a big way. But other than that, I'm really happy to be here. It's my 2nd year participating, so I'm very excited.
Fantastic. We love that. Can't do anything about the freezing, but we love it. Okay, let's just dive right in. Patti, you bring a powerful lens to this conversation on transforming global business systems. So in this fast forward economy, where really does success begin? So does it begin with designing a smarter organization strategy, or with the deep personal transformation of the leader? Please share.
Well, I would say it starts with the people. The leader makes the weather. So it's really the people and the emotional intelligence. In business schools today or in the past, we've done a lot about P&Ls, strategic vision. But if you don't have the people behind that are invested in your vision, you're in trouble. So right now we're focusing a lot on emotional intelligence and how you connect with people. There's an expression that lose time to save time. And in any position, a leader today, you have to spend a lot of time listening to people, to understanding why they're there, and then talking to them. You're going to have people in your teams that Some of them are just there for a paycheck, and that's great because they're going to get the job done and then they're going to go home. Some people are there to build their career, and you have to nurture and take care of them and make sure that you as a leader, you're showing them the way. So you have to spend a lot of time listening and finding out why people are working in the organization and what they hope to get out of it. So I would say people, number one, is the most important thing.
Fantastic. It's all about people, people, people.
Absolutely.
Now, let me ask a question about, so you design the hardware of global education. So from your vantage point about shaping global business education, what specific shifts must leader make to move away from the traditional strategic planning to adaptive, intelligence-driven decision frameworks?
Well, I don't do my job alone. I have large teams and faculty that are far more experienced than I am on things. My job is to bridge that gap. What I'm seeing right now in a shift is leaders need to know what's going on in the industry, and they need to know how to use those tools on whatever level. So I run 14 programs in my portfolio, anywhere from undergrad to PhDs to graduate studies. And what we're seeing, especially on executive MBAs, so very highly qualified CEOs, presidents, vice presidents, is that they're perhaps sheepish to ask questions about AI or quantum computing within their own companies. So they're coming back to education. And our job is to give them the tools that they need to lead the people. So if they don't know about what's going on in AI and how to equip their teams, and that the fact that they need to give their teams time to learn how to use this tool and to adapt to it, then they're going to have a problem moving their organization forward. If they're not on the forefront of being a lifelong learner and saying, hey, AI is one thing, but what we need to watch out for is quantum computing, because quantum computing is going to, about a year's time, crush AI. So the advantage of being a lifelong learner is you're constantly testing yourself and your knowledge, and your being humble enough to return to education. As a leader, we need to be humble, and we need to be a lifelong learner.
We need to be humble and be a lifelong learner. I love that, because you cannot stop learning. What you currently know is not all that there needs to learn and know. So thank you for
You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And then you come to Oxford and realize all that you don't know. So it's humbling.
Absolutely. So let me move to my next question. And this is about a recent McKinsey study that shows 87% of global executives talk about their organizations not prepared for automated driven disruption. And so only 28 believe their leadership pipelines are ready. So in your view, what strategic competencies must organizations build? And I know you've talked a bit about knowing the tools that they need to use, but what strategic competencies must organizations build immediately to avoid becoming the part of the 50% or so companies projected to disappear in the next decade? So this is about competencies that organizations.
Oh, absolutely. They need to know right now what can be automated, and what can be automated will probably double over the next couple of years. So they need to know actually what their teams are doing with boots on the ground, what automation tools, and they need to start being comfortable with being uncomfortable because things are changing so rapidly now. What we see teams using, and it's a problem in every organization, our teams are not taught how to use AI. We have teams using ChatGPT for research, which is a major mistake. You should not be using that for research. It makes tons of mistakes all the time. We have the professor of graduate studies here, Steve New, who teaches our MBAs. When they come in, I'm going to show you on AI why not to use it for a research tool. And he plugs into AI, and ChatGPT is saying, is Steve New the guitarist from the Sex Pistols? And it says yes. And it is, as you feed the machine, it gets worse because it's building a bigger and bigger story. So these LLMs are just, there's no fact checking, there's none of it behind. So first of all, know the tools, know what can be automated, teach your teams. And that's going to take some time to teach them to adopt the tools. And then you're going to see people are going to be able to take, I'm confident that with automation, people are going to be able to start using their brains a little bit more to strategize. All of this mundane stuff, this plugging in data, that's over. Let's get a computer to do that, and let's get people to do what they do best, relate to each other, and think and strategize. So that's where I think AI is going to be a wonderful thing. And I think that's what companies, the direction companies need to be going in.
Fantastic. So we can't blindly use it when it comes to research, because
try yourself. Start Google. Google, looking at yourself and ask it a specific question, because it's tempted by that question, so it'll feed into other false narratives. It's fascinating.
Wow. Wow.
You know, I remember libraries and Dewey Decimal System and the cards and going looking at books and microfiche that we could count on. We might have to go back to that.
Showing our age. I'm saying, yes, I remember that.
I saw your face. I saw you nodding.
Fantastic. Okay, just maybe one more question.
Yeah.
As strategies evolve, obviously metrics must also evolve. So beyond traditional financials, what KPIs, so key performance indicators, should global leaders prioritize so that they're able to measure the success of their strategic investments in both human capital and coaching within their organizations?
Well, I think that's just it. It's the triple bottom line. It's people, profit, planet. I mean, that's what they should be looking for. If your people are happy, if you're going for a goal for the planet, we're very big into social impact at Oxford Saïd, and it's all about, where are we measuring success? Is it how many zeros you have in your bank account, and how much money do you really need at the end of the day? The goal for all of these companies should be to pay their salaried employees, but also to give something back. So if you were to ask me, what's the measure? How do you measure impact? You change lives, you build people, you build communities. That's what business should be doing today, instead of just worried about shareholders. You know, take care of the shareholders, because those are also the people that have given their hard-earned money to build in there. But just make sure that at the end of the day, the goal is to leave the planet and the people better than when you came in.
Absolutely. I love the building communities that you touched upon.
We are. If you think about it, at work every day, depending on the laws in your country, you could spend 8 hours, 12 hours, and it's a dynamic ecosystem. So there needs to be rules of respect, taking care of your employees, coaching, teaching them how to move forward. What resources are you giving to the people to make sure that if you're training people and you're coaching them to do their job, guess what? They're going to train other people. They're going to do your jobs better, and whoever's buying your product is going to be happy. So you can think that offering services of coaching is going to cost you a lot of money, but you're going to get back tenfold what you've done. And it's really helping people think about where they are and where they want to go that are going to change things and advance the needle a little bit.
Absolutely. It's that return on investment that you don't quite see. Because of course, the more you impact on the people that you're working with, the more they move that forward. They pay it forward is what
I think that's interesting, the ROI that you see, because I think that's where we need to change our perspective. The ROI is no longer in an Excel line or a Tableau chart. It's in the faces of the people. Yes. And when you walk into work and people are happy to be there, and you've created a community of joyful people, not every day, because sometimes they're really bad, but people that are really there for each other, then you've done a good job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love it. Now that is the end of my formal questions, and I'm just going to ask some rapid fire questions. I don't want you to think, it's all fun, it's short. I want very short answers. Don't want you to think too much about it. So just complete the sentence.
You got it.
The first one, the fastest way a leader can become obsolete in the intelligent economy is by
thinking you know everything.
I love that. I love that. The ultimate fast forward strategy for high stakes decision making is
collaboration.
Fantastic. To truly scale your impact without sacrificing your team, you must
be patient, take your time, trust people.
Yes. Okay. The biggest strategic blind spot you see in organizations trying to compete globally today is
a lack of hiring for their blind spot, them not knowing their blind spot.
I like that. And finally, the one non-negotiable asset today's career professional, coach, or leader must possess is
kindness.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. What a
Thank you.
rich, quick, and insightful conversation we've just had. So, Patti,
Fantastic.
thank you very much for your
Thank
clarity,
you.
the powerful reminders about people. The right people are your most valuable asset. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. So, to
Thank
everyone
you.
who tuned in today, thank you for showing up with your curiosity and openness. This session may be ending, but I hope the conversation it sparked continues in your thinking, your practice, and in your community. So on behalf of the ELCAN Exec Committee and the entire Africa Coaching Week team, thank you once again for being a part of this experience. See you in the next session.
Welcome back. Welcome back. What a great conversation between Patti Brown and Kemi Oye. So I can tell you some of my favorite takeaways from that were for sure the three words: people, kindness, and patience. And remembering that coaching and the results from it are about long-term results. Before we get into our high-level panel, the first of two, I'm going to share a few of the things that I see in the comments and highlight some of those, some of your favorite takeaways and things that resonated with you during that conversation. It's about people. Also, another one about lifelong learning. And of course, you don't know what you don't know. One of the personal development programs that I did in life, one of the things that you walk away with is you don't know what you don't know, that you don't know, that you don't know. And remembering that others don't know what you don't know, that they don't know, that they don't know, that they don't know, right? So as a leader, you have to be humble. What else do we have in here? Be a lifelong learner. Let's see, collaboration, the downfall of not knowing your blind spots. So those are some of the key takeaways people had. Please continue to share in the chat. I'm happy to see everyone talking about how much they enjoyed it. So let's take it to the next level. Also share some of the things that really resonated with you. And so we can kind of pull that together as a synopsis. All right, so keep sharing as we jump into the next conversation, which is a high-level panel with Dr. Sam Obafemi, Dr. Paleza Manzara, Olivier Martinez, and conversation with Emmanuel M.A., who will navigate the session. And the topic for this panel is From Passion to Profit, Building a Scalable Practice that cannot be outsourced. Let me repeat that. From passion to profit, right? Moving to get the money. Building a scalable practice that cannot be outsourced. I'm going to introduce our host and moderator for this panel, which is Emmanuel M.A. Dr. Emmanuel M.A. is a highly accomplished learning and development specialist, HR consultant, executive coach, and leadership expert. Dr. Emmanuel has over 2 decades of experience. He has delivered impactful programs in over 25 countries. He is a doctoral fellow of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management. He's pursuing a PhD from Trinity College of the Bible and Trinity Theological Seminary. He is also the chairperson of this year's ACW Organizing Committee. Welcome, Dr. Emmanuel.
Thank you. Thank you, Autumn. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Good. Very excited to hear what comes out of these panels today. I'm going to turn it over to you and let you introduce the panelists. And only note that I have on housekeeping is if, as we're moving through this exciting conversation, if everybody can just limit their responses and remarks to 5 minutes. So it's the only thing I have, and we are excited to jump in. And I'm sorry, not 5, 2 to 3 minutes. I'm going over. So if we can just limit the responses to 2 to 3 minutes, because we want to be able to hear what everybody has to say and get as much insight as possible. So over to you, Dr. Emmanuel.
All right, everyone. Good afternoon, Lagos, or should I say good evening? And of course, good morning, New York. It should be around 11 o'clock there in New York City. And of course, a massive hello to the global village connecting us right now. Welcome to the second segment of the Africa Coaching Week. And this is your global conference. I am your host, as announced. My name is Dr. Emmanuel Eme. And if you have been looking for, let's say, a bridge between loving what you do and getting paid for what you do or what you award, then you have not parked your car in the wrong place. This is the right place for you to be. You know, they say that passion is a fuel, but profit is the engine that keeps the car moving. So today we are not just talking about making money, we are talking about building legacy. That's right, building legacy, which is a practice that is so unique to you. That's right, so unique to you that no algorithm, no AI, no cheap outsourcing can ever replace you. So at this time, we are going to be jumping in. But before I bring out the heavyweights, I'll be doing all the sharing. I need to ask you for a favor. I want you at this time, since we are all on YouTube, I want you to look at the YouTube button that says share. And I want you to hit that button right now. And I want you to click it and send the link to 5 people. That's right, 5 people who you believe need to stop playing small in 2026. 5 people that should stop playing small in 2026. And tell them the money conversation is starting. The money conversation is starting. And if you do not know, there are heavyweights on YouTube. Right now, I was number 3 in the comment section. YouTube will give you a crown. There's a first place, second place, and third place. For the most person that has the most interaction, there is a crown there. So I want you to try to see if you can beat those persons. I was number 3, but right now I've dropped down to number 5 because I have to stop here. So if you are ready to scale, I want all of you right now on YouTube to type UNSTOPP able, unstoppable. Let's see who the first person will be. Type unstoppable in the chat right now. And let me see whose comments will roll fast. I'm back on YouTube. Let's see. Number 1 on the chat there is Femi Luther. Number 3 is Tolu Afonja. And where's number 2? I can't even find number 2. Yeah, I find number 2. It's Emmanuel Eme. I'm back on number 2. All right, so go ahead and type unstoppable right now on YouTube, because you will be unstoppable by the time we are done today. Guarantee that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, to help us decode this topic, all right, to help us decode this topic. And if you're wondering what in the world is the topic we're talking about, we're talking about something very, very important to every one of us today. Will you be outsourced? People are thinking about, oh, will AI take my job? Will somebody take my job? Will anybody take my job? And we want you to build something that is so unique that it cannot be outsourced. So to help us decode, like I said, we're not just bringing coaches, but we brought architects of industry. That's right. These men and women, they are architects of industry. And these people they are people who have looked at the status quo in environment, and they have said, no, thank you, I will build my own. They have looked at the status quo, they have looked at what people are doing, and said, no, sir, man, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to build my own. We are going to start from my beloved country, France. I love France. I'm learning French. And I'm going to say bonsoir. If you are here, over there, it will be bonjour, Français, bonjour, brothers and sisters over there. We're going to be bringing this guy all the way from France, and he is going to be joining us. And he is a serial entrepreneur, all right? Not a solopreneur, all right? He's a serial entrepreneur with over 15 years in the game. Now, he doesn't just build companies. This guy has built empires across the United States of America. He has built empires in France, in China, and in Japan. He is the founder and CEO of Outblast. Outblast, one word. Mastering the art of luxury and operational rigor. If you want to know how to charge a premium and how to say to your clients, pay me, and they will say, yes, we'll pay you, thank you, then this is the man you need to go. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as we welcome Olivier Martinez. Olivier Martinez, where are you? Let's see you, Olivier Martinez. There you are.
Hi, Emmanuel.
Bonjour, bonsoir, welcome.
Bonsoir.
Wow, it's
Thank
good
you
to
very
see
much
you.
for the great presentation and the energy.
Thank you. Thank you. How's the weather in France?
So I'm in Paris right now. I travel
Okay.
quite a lot, so you're lucky you got me while I was on the right time zone. I move from Paris to Tokyo, Shanghai, New York, but I'm based in Paris, in our Paris office. Yeah.
Wow, you can see it's a globe trotter. Yes, yes, yes. So the second person we're going to be calling up right now is what I would call a diversity dynamo. All right, a diversity that the dynamo from Paris. We're going to go all the way to the southern part of Africa, and we are going to see who is coming next. So coming next from the Rainbow Nation of South Africa, she is where academic brilliance meets market strategy. That's where you're going to find her. She holds a PhD in clinical diversity studies and a master's in global marketing. She teaches organizations that inclusion, that word, inclusion isn't just a buzzword, but it is profitable. Inclusion is a profit strategy. She's a consultant on race, gender, equity, equality, who proves that intellect and impact, they go hand in hand, or shall I say hand in gloves. All right. So please, let's make welcome Dr. Palesa Monzara. Dr. Palesa, how you doing?
Thank you, Dr. Emmanuel. It's so nice to hear myself being introduced with so much gusto and energy.
Yes.
I'm excited to be in this conversation, just listening to you. I'm doing well. I'm doing well in stormy Johannesburg. We're in the middle of a rainstorm, which is common in the summer anyway.
Oh, wow. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Nigeria is hot. It's about almost 90 degrees Fahrenheit in many places in Nigeria. But don't worry, because you guys are here. You guys are bringing all the coolness of nature to us. So, ladies and gentlemen, from Paris to Johannesburg, South Africa, we are now coming back home to Nigeria. This guy is a man with tentacles. I'm going to see what I mean very soon. They call him the octopus. And he is the only coach I know that will not just feed you with coaching methodology. This guy literally feeds people with octopus. And he's going to be telling us a little bit about that. And he's called it not because he lives in an ocean, but because he reaches this depth of wisdom that extends everywhere. His hands and tentacles are everywhere. He is what I would call an unconventional thinker. He is the founder and CEO of Seka Africa in Abuja. He is a confident C-suite executive and author of 11 books. Now, I'm also an author, but I've not gotten up to half of that. He's an author of 11 books. He's a former vice president of the Life Coach Association of Nigeria. So if there's a problem, Sam has a tentacle for that problem. I mean, a solution for it. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Sam Obafemi. Sam, how you doing?
Hey guys, good to be here. I'm well. Dr. Emmanuel, good to see you again. And hello to Olivia. Hello to Dr. Palesa. Good to see you again online. Thank you for having me. Good day.
All right. Thank you so much. So there you have them, ladies and gentlemen, from passion to profit. A lot of you have been working hard, but that's pepper. They call it Nigeria. Pepper is not coming in. Money is not coming in. From passion to profit. How you can build a scalable practice that can't be outsourced. So for the audience, I want you to remember at this time to share updates of this conversation on social media. Make sure you use the tag at ICAN, ICAN_NG. And you have to look at the hashtag. The hashtag is Africa Coaching Week, one word. Africa Coaching Week. Share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram. And even as the speakers have this conversation and speak, I want you to begin to type out some of the things that jump out at you. Very, very important. So, speakers, we're going to jump in at this time. I welcome everybody. Once more, it's my honor to be here with you. So the topic is from passion to profits. How do we build a scalable practice that cannot be outsourced? Now, there's an African proverb, that says the market does not pay for your passion. It pays for your value. So let's dissect that a little bit. And I'm going to start from the octopus himself. Mr. Sam, I'm starting with you. So you are
Yes.
known for your behavioral intelligence, right? So, many of us start with, well, I just want to help people, including myself. That's how I started. I just want to help people. But helping does not always pay the bills. So what was that specific moment? That specific moment or the mindset shift that moved you as a person from being a passion-driven helper to now a profit-driven business owner? Over to you, Mr. Sam.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So the first time I think I hit that epiphany was in 2015. I remember that when I was working as an employee back then, up until 2011, I was very passionate about helping people. And I felt, hey, I really want to go and conquer the world. I want to solve people's problems. But then I figured between 2011 and 2015, you will find out that even the people you are trying to help are also trying to help you because you cannot even fend for yourself. And you now find out that there's just a cap to how much you can scale and deliver. When you are not revenue or wealth centric, you have put a limit to how much impact you can make. Because you would find out that as much as your heart is large to support and help people, your resources are directly proportional to the scope of work you can do. So 2015 was that moment of epiphany for me where I knew that you have to change the business model. The model has to be revenue centric enough to be able to deliver the goods and the value. And the more revenue you can generate and the much more you can scale, then the larger the capacity of impact that you can deliver. That was the moment for me from 2015.
Wow. That is so interesting. And as you were speaking, I remember a conversation I had with someone today. 5 years ago, I wouldn't have had that conversation. I would have said, okay, well, anything you have, bring, I'll do it. But I said, well, no deal. There's a time to say it should be win-win. If I can't get a win-win, it's a no deal. So you said there's some people have put a cap, there's a cap. And what happened to you 2011, between that 2015, and having a large heart does not necessarily add up. Thank you so much, the Octopus, for that. That was very powerful. So right now, we are going to move down to Dr. Palesa, pivoting to you. So Dr. Palesa, you blend D&I, what I call, diversity and inclusion, with a kind of hardcore marketing. Now, how does it involve an inclusive mindset actually drive profit? How does this include mindset? How does it bring money? Nigeria will say, now you go chop. Are we going to chop inclusive mindset? How does inclusive mindset, how does it drive profit? Is there a scalable business scale for being inclusive? How do you make money by simply being inclusive? Dr. Palesa.
I'm so glad you asked that question, Dr. Emmanuel, because this is where the real business case for inclusion becomes crystal clear. And honestly, it's where inclusion stops being theory and starts to drive growth, real growth. So an inclusive mindset really pushes you to design your practice around real people, not around assumptions. And that's where profitability and scale actually come from. When you take time to understand the different motivations, barriers, and lived experiences your clients bring, you stop trying to market to everyone, what we like to call in the marketing world the spray and pray approach. And you start positioning yourself with actual precision. And honestly, inclusion isn't just a nice to have, as some may mistaken it to be. It's a competitive data advantage. It shapes your content, your offers, and the overall client experience in a way that feels intentional and human. I like to give examples. So you'll see as I speak, I'll provide a lot of examples. I once worked on a program for women entrepreneurs in both rural and urban areas. On paper, it was the same curriculum across rural and urban, but in practice, we had to adjust for language, we had to adjust for digital access, we had to adjust for cultural decision-making patterns, which differed in both sides. And those small but thoughtful shifts doubled engagement and actually opened new markets up for us. all because we designed with inclusion in the mind. So in short, inclusion sharpens your product market fit. It helps you attract the right clients. It reduces the wrong fit ones because not all clients are right for all practitioners, and builds loyalty because people genuinely feel considered and not just targeted in a broad sense.
Wow, fantastic, fantastic. I like it when you said you don't just market to everyone, all right? You have to position yourself, all right? You have to position yourself. Then you have to decide who you want to sell to. Inclusion doesn't mean that you accept anything and everything. Thank you so much. I want to go to the YouTube channel at this time, and I'm happy to announce to us that some new winners have emerged, and some have been dethroned. So on Facebook right now, the most active participant is Femi Luther with 100 points, maximum 100 points. He has a star there, followed by, believe it or not, Amawumi. Amawumi has taken the second place, and Tolu Afonja is number 3. So let us see how we're going to knock those guys off. Keep on adding your comments and keep on, showing up, and let's see what's going to happen. We're going to go back to our moderators, our panelists at this time. And right now, let's talk luxury. All right, Olivier, let's talk luxury. You see, most coaches, they are terrified. And I'll tell you, and I've been there. Most coaches are terrified of raising their prices, especially right now in the economy that's so bad. Now, but you specialize in luxury positioning. My question is, so what is the secret sauce that transforms a regular coach into a premium brand that clients are begging to pay for? Did you get that?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So just for a bit of context, I run a luxury marketing agency, and we are a very niche agency. What we do is we take care of luxury brands in foreign countries, and we take care of the digital part only. So we have a triple niche, which is luxury, digital, and then multicultural, because we're away from the brand's home. And the fact that we're very, very niche allows us to be ourselves luxury as well. I'd say the biggest, not mistake, but the biggest problem and challenge in terms of pricing and valuing yourself as a coach is trying to please everyone. Trying to get as many clients as you get, and any kind of client will do, because that makes it very difficult to differentiate yourself from the others. So there's, I think the idea is really to focus on the niche, the very specific kind of service that you can deliver, and that you can prove that you can deliver. That's very important. And then sticking to that and building your own brand image, like we did for Outblast, is really building a brand image focused on your target consumer and your niche. And that's how you'll be able to position yourself with pricing, not just to be accepted by everyone, but to be respected by the clients that you chose. I think that's important. It does mean really working on who you are, who your real clients are, and building the image around it with a lot of pulling rather than pushing. So building your brand image and curating all of your communication accounts so that people actually come to you rather than you constantly harassing people to work with you. And I think that's a key, I would say that's a key element, definitely.
Wow. Thank you so much. I mean, what you just said right now is so powerful. In Nigeria here, there are some food items that they don't advertise. They don't advertise pomo, which is like a kind of beef hide. They don't advertise gari. It just comes to you. Just like Tesla, for example. People will go there. So I think I like what you said about finding a niche. So you can't be everything. You are not for everybody. You can't be a GP, general practitioner. Maybe we all started from being general practitioners, but every coach, you must find a niche. You must niche down. You must be able to say, this is what I do. I don't do everything. I'll outsource it, but this is what I'm going to do. So that brings us to the end of round 1. We're going to be going to round 2. Round 1 was just on mindset. So, okay, let's get practical this time. Let's get practical. Let's talk about scalable. How do we scale? I'm going to go back to the octopus at this time. At Seca Africa, I observed that you have scaled massively. In fact, I heard you say one time you have to collapse your companies into one. You have scaled massively. I'm following you, but the fear is always for all of us, if I scale, I'll probably lose quality. So what system did you build to scale your business without necessarily diluting your personal impacts? You want to share with us, Sam?
Thank you very much. At the point when I figured we were growing quite fast, I needed to restructure our system. And so what I did was first divest the ownership. I made sure that Seca Africa does not belong solely to me. So we had to divest equity, and we got to get people to invest in Seca Africa. So I am a simple majority shareholder, but we have quite a number of people who invest and co-own the business with us. That's the first. And secondly, what that meant is that we designed a corporate governance system such that we're accountable and we're able to make sure the system can run in my absence. So as of today, Seca Africa does not need my presence, whether physically or in life at all, to operate. And that was the beginning of our real scaling. Then the next thing we did was to now design the operational structure. So the way our structure is that we have the board, we have the management, then we have a project team, but we now have a pool of experts across different expertise. We have over 250 professionals who have subscribed to our platforms. And what that means is that if we have projects and solutions or interventions, now these professionals, because of the key services we offer, so we have clinical psychologists, we have psychiatrists, we have social workers, we have partnerships with rehabs, and then we have consultants and process and project experts. So what that does is that when we get inflows of business, the team coordinates the project management, but our pool of professionals undertake the execution. That way, quality is sustained because we have a charter, we have a process document that guarantees that the job that will be delivered is qualitative. So the team manages the projects and the facilitators or the consultants, and then management is able to continue to look for new businesses. So what that has made me become in the organization is that I'm primarily a marketer. I'm no more necessarily involved in the day-to-day execution of projects and business decision-making. That has been taken care of by the structure. So I'm not bogged down trying to execute a project, undertake a project. We just get a professional team that does it. Then we switch into project management and manage that. Even for the behavioral component, we have a full suite of a clinic. We have a mind and behavior clinic that is a full suite clinic. So we have psychiatrists, clinical psychologists, and then we have our own director of mental health services on our payroll. So that person is responsible to ensure that any behavioral component work is guided and executed according to the specification of our business. So I have freed up my time so much that I had to, and I like what Olivier said about, consolidating your brand. So if you've observed, 2024, 2025, my personal brand took off. And the reason is because I created more room to now grow the octopus as a brand. And that now became a funnel to bring in businesses. So my work is to be visible, attract the client, and push it to the organization. And bro, it's just been a roller coaster. We're really grateful that it has turned out that way. It was a good risk taking and it turned out right.
Wow. I want you guys to just type in, I want to be an octopus when I grow up. I want to be, hey, Sam, my next visit to Abuja, we are going to talk. You just listen to a man who started up from Lagos as a youth copper. And who is doing amazing work. So I like it's just systems. What you're saying is systems. They say if you want to go fast, go alone. Many of us are going fast. We just chop alone, die alone, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with other people, you need to begin to build systems. So system saves sanity. Let's go over to you, Dr. Palesa. let's put on our marketing lens at this time. You see, many practitioners, they have the passion, they are body, especially if you're here in Africa, they have passion, but they struggle with positioning. You mentioned positioning. So what are the key brand elements will you advise us that makes a practical, that makes a practice irresistible, so that you don't have to get lost in the noise that we see around us? Share with us some of those elements.
So when it comes to positioning, I like to remind practitioners of one thing, and that is in a crowded market, which is where we all operate, people don't just choose you because you're just there, because you're available. They choose you because your perspective and your process makes sense to them. Irreplaceable brands don't add more noise to the noise. They offer clarity to the prospective client. So for me, there are a few pieces that really matter, and I'll give you some examples. Number one, having a clear point of view. Your point of view is simply the way you see your client's challenge. It's your anchor. So for example, my point of view is that inclusion is a growth strategy. It's not a compliance exercise, and that shapes every solution that I design for my clients. I once worked with a career coach who reframed her entire practice around helping women of color negotiate power. And that shift instantly differentiated her in a crowded market. That's number one. Number two, having a named and evidence-based method. So having a name to whatever your framework or your method is. What a framework does is that it gives your work structure and it signals depth. It also creates ownability to yourself. One consultant I supported built a 4-step model that she named the Insight to Influence method. And that is a model that she created and owned. And that was grounded in behavioral science. The moment she named her process, her corporate bookings doubled, because she wasn't just selling her hours anymore. She was now selling her method. And lastly, having a distinctive emotional experience. At the end of the day, people remember how you make them feel, right? And we all know this. One executive coach I worked with previously centered her brand on psychological safety, such an important topic that I'd love to dissect on another day. But she provided predictable follow-ups for her clients, structured summaries, and she offered a lot of support prep. And that emotional consistency became her competitive edge. So when you bring these things together, a strong point of view, a recognizable method, and an intentional emotional experience, your practice stops being replaceable or interchangeable with others. It becomes unmistakably yours.
Wow. I love everything. Listen, I am scaling up after this show. I am rebranding. I am changing everything, because from what I'm hearing, she says you have to stand out. All right. You have to be outstanding. Now, many people are standing outside the game. Doesn't make you outstanding. Okay. Outstanding is not standing outside the game. Outstanding is having something that people will pay for, having a brand, having a name, making people feel good. When people leave you, they must say, I left so and so person, not a session. I left so and so person. Thank you so much for that. We're going to go back to Olivia this time. I'm tempted to go back to YouTube to go and see how the war is going over there. So we're looking at differentiation right now into standout. Olivia, so we have seen coaches, underprice themselves. So what is that significant biggest mistakes that you think that people make with their pricing strategy? All right. And why are we so afraid to charge what we are worth? I want you to talk to me and many people who are like me here.
That's a good question. I think one of the elements is definitely the fact that we tend to charge for our own time. Especially as a coach, you tend to charge for hours. And as Dr. Palisa said, I think there's a very big difference between charging for hours and charging for a method, a structure, and the emotion, the point of view that goes with it. And in terms of scalability, if you want to be able to scale, you have to sell more than the hours that you're actually taking to deliver the service, because you can't scale the number of hours that there are in a day. So when I started, I did everything myself. Just like everyone who's starting a business, you have to do everything yourself. And you're very, very focused on operations. In order to scale, you have to structure these operations in a process, a method, named tools and methods that you can explain to clients. And then you can hire people to apply that process and to apply these methods. And because you're not selling your own time, but you're selling the method and the tools that you've named to the clients, it's okay if it's not you who's actually delivering them, because you've moved from operation to management. And then if you really want to scale more, you're going from management to governance. When I started the business in Japan, we started doing everything in Japan, doing all the operations, then hired a team, a stable team, managed that team. And then when we started opening branches around the world, I had to step into the government world. So really share the equity, and that completely transformed my role inside the company. And that's why, going back to passion, the passion has to be about something bigger than just the operational work that you're doing. If the objective is, the goal is to scale, the passion has to be about delivering transformation for a client. For me, it was really about the multicultural approach. How does marketing apply? How does luxury marketing apply, depending on the countries? And that's the passion that drove me throughout all of the numerous years I spent as an entrepreneur. Yeah. So I would say it's the passion that leads to great operations, that leads to good management, that leads to then your global governance to be. I could talk about this for a long time. I think I will, because Dr. Emmanuel is not there yet. The initial question was about the pricing, and I think the pricing, at first, we tend first to underprice because we're not confident enough, and we want to grab any client that we can because we need the revenue. So that's the number one mistake for everyone. But for that, there's a very simple fix, which is start by overpricing. Whatever you think is what you're worth, you double that, because you can always go lower. If a client says, oh, I really want to work with you, but I don't have the budget, you can say, well, you're in luck. I really loved our conversation. I want to work with you. So just for this one time, I'll lower my fee. But you can't go the other way around. You can't say, oh, you want to work with me? Oh, wait, I'm just going to double that estimate. And is that still good with you? You can't do that. So for the pricing, easy fix, start by asking for double what you think you're worth. And then for pricing strategy, there's two ways to do it. The first one is looking at the cost of goods. So what is your time worth to you, which is generally not a good option. And the second one is looking at benchmark. What are the market prices now? And if you've done your work correctly in terms of positioning, you'll know to whom you should compare yourself and how to adapt the pricing based on your positioning and to your clients. Because in the end, it's not about the cost of goods, it's about willingness to pay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Olivier. I think Mr. Emmanuel is having some internet issues, and so he will join us. However, I really want us to, this has been so mindful. I have been taking notes rapidly, and I definitely want to go back to watch this again. Now I want to run to the rapid fire sentence finishers. These are really quick answers. Don't think, just give it to us, as we go. So I'm going to start with you, Palesa. I'd like for you to, just like I said, no need to think, just give it to us. The fastest way to scale a passion is?
Design a repeatable process.
Wow.
Just design a repeatable process.
Perfect. Olivier?
I think turn it into a system, a structured system, a process. That's exactly it.
Okay. One thing every coach should stop doing immediately, Coach Sam.
Micromanaging yourself and your team.
Wow, perfect, perfect. Thank you. What do you think, Olivier? What would your answer be? Olivier Palesa, let's hear from you. One thing a coach should stop doing, every coach should stop doing.
Selling their own time.
Palesa, what do you think?
Stop confusing activity with impact. Busyness is not a business model.
Oh la la. I want to print this in a shirt. The biggest pricing mistake you see is, Olivier?
There's a saying for that. It's pricing to be accepted instead of respected.
Ooh, wow.
I want to print that on a t-shirt.
Yes. Sam, let's hear from you.
The biggest pricing mistake I've noticed is negotiating a customer's payment plan on their behalf.
Ooh la la. And Palesa, what would you say?
Anchoring your fees to personal discomfort instead of market evidence and demonstrated value. So pricing to what feels comfortable and doesn't make you feel awkward, which is what we've been discussing.
Oof, too much goodness. Listen, I definitely want to watch this again. And then the final one, everyone, your one sentence advice for building a premium practice is, let's go, Olivier.
So one is narrow down your services, identify who your target is, and then make an exceptional process just for them.
Amazing. Palesa.
Build a body of work so distinctive that clients seek your specific perspective, not just your hours.
Dr. Sam.
Yeah. Invest in yourself enough. Invest in yourself enough. Hire a coach to help you. Follow who know road and be courageous. Bite the bullets. Charge more than you are worth. You just never know.
I love it. Thank you so much. I am going to step down from the stage and then we'll hear one word from Mr. Emmanuel. I think our village people affected his internet, but he's back up. So, and thank you so much. This is this wraps up the panel. And yeah, Mr. Emmanuel. Oops, we cannot hear you.
Emmanuel is mute.
Yeah, Emmanuel, are you on mute? Please check. Just going to bring in Otto-Marie to continue the session and I drop off.
Okay. All right, Dr. Emmanuel. Oh, see if you can come off mute because we can see you. We see you speaking, but we can't hear you. No. Okay, let's let Dr. Emmanuel, you can also try to leave and come right back. We'll wrap up in the meantime. I'm gonna share some things that you can try to come back. I'm gonna share some things that I see in the chat. So I know that we just got so many great takeaways and so many great quotables, so many drop the mic moments, as people would say. So
that's right.
Oh, there we are. Okay, Dr. Emmanuel is here. All right, let me turn over to Dr. Emmanuel. We're happy to have you back.
Yes, I was going to ask Sam and Dr. Palesa and Olivier, how can people reach you? I know after now, people want to connect with you on LinkedIn and all your social media. How can people reach you, Sam?
Okay, I'd advise that I can be checked on LinkedIn, Samuel Obafemi on LinkedIn. On Instagram, S Obafemi is the handle, consistent on X, Instagram, and Threads. Thank you.
Thank you. And Dr. Palesa, you?
The best place to reach me is on LinkedIn. I am quite active there. If you just look up Dr. Palesa Mashwele Munzara.
Yes, and Olivier?
Same for me. LinkedIn works fine. You search for my name and Outblast, you should find me. There are a lot of Olivier Martinez out there, but if you look for the one that works at Outblast, it's me.
I noticed that there are so many. I have to be patient. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. You are not just building a business, you are building a legacy. that cannot be outsourced. My name is Emmanuel Eme. Stay tuned because the next segment is going to be explosive. I'm going to be handing us over right now to our duty continuity announcer, the most beautiful Autumn Marie.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Dr. Palesa. Thank you, Olivier. Thank you, Dr. Emmanuel. I love it in the chat. Everyone wants to be an octopus. All right, so there are a whole lot of quotables that I'm seeing and the insights. What I'm going to ask is that for the sake of time, so that we don't go through all of them that are here because there are so many, is that you share those on social media. And speaking of social media and how we can reach people, please go share them and talk about what is happening here today, so even more people can join the association and even more people can become a part of this community. So keep all this and go talk about it in the world and online. All right, we want to move on for time's sake to our keynote session with Robert Burale. Robert Burale and Kim Oye will navigate this session, and our topic is Fast Forward Strategy, how global leaders are designing success in today's intelligent economy. There is Kemi. We got to see her earlier in our very first session, and now we have her with us in this moment. Hi, Kemi. How are you today?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for asking. How are you?
Good. I'm very excited. Listen, I am over here trying to type all the notes. I'm jumping into WhatsApp groups that I'm a part of. Like I have some WhatsApp groups with friends who own other agencies here, and we've been talking about some of these things, especially scalability. So I'm going here, all the things. So it is very exciting to be here. Hi, Robert. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing? Can you hear me well?
I can hear you perfectly well. Welcome. Welcome to the Global Summit. I am going to step away and turn it over to the two of you for about the next 15 to 20 minutes. And I'm sure that we're going to have a whole lot of more quotable moments, a lot more insight, and a lot more to take notes on. So we are ready.
Thank you very much, Autumn. And hello to everyone once again. And you are most warmly welcome to Africa Coaching Week 2025. I'm super delighted to be hosting another session in this conference. But before we delve in, as Autumn has said, let's make quiet noise, quiet impact. We aren't loud, right? But we make loud impact as coaches, as leaders, professionals, and business owners. So let's hop onto social media, tell them about our theme. So fast forward, future-proofing coaching in today's intelligent economy. So don't forget the hashtags Africa Coaching Week. So this topic, so the topic for this session is how global leaders are designing success in today's intelligent economy. So in this session, I'm hoping that we will explore the concept of reinvention, so what it means as coaches, how leaders, coaches, and professionals can break old patterns and cycles that no longer serve them, how coaches can serve smarter, and how influence stays relevant. So we're keeping it, guys. We're keeping it tight, deep, and very practical. So with me today is a global voice on leadership reinvention. So Robert Burale is here with me. Let me introduce him. He is an acclaimed event host, inspirational speaker, image consultant, marketing strategist, and an actor. He's the man behind the Robert Burale School of Leadership and the CEO of the Readily Bold Company. He helps leaders rewrite identity, harmonize leadership psychology, and design success in a world moving faster than most organizations are ready for. Welcome, Robert Burale. How are you?
Oh, thank you very much. What a big introduction. Now there's too much pressure on me, but it is fine. It is. Thank you, Kemi. It is such an honor to be here. This is a very close. This is very close to my heart. And just to my good Nigerian brothers and sisters, I'm sorry, Nigeria did not qualify for the World Cup. I was rooting for you. Nigeria is like my second home. I've done movies with some of Nigerian greatest actors and actresses. So Nigeria is close to my heart. But to everybody, the global audience, everybody who has tuned in, I also hope my village witch doctors will not interfere with my internet.
I love it. I love it. Where in the world are you right now?
I'm currently in Kenya. I was in the US and doing some leadership talks there and speaking to, I had a men's conference. Now I'm here ready to speak to all of us by God's grace.
Fantastic. You're safe in Kenya. You're not in Nigeria after what you've just said.
I know,
So
right?
fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. So let's dive in. Robert, you bring a powerful lens to this conversation on personal leadership reinvention. So in this fast forward economy, where do you think success truly begins? Does it begin with smarter organizational strategy or deep personal reinvention of the leader?
Well, thank you very much, Kemi. It's a very personal thing. It's an inside job. It starts with the person. And I'll say this, if you allow me, every time I do a talk, I fuse in my own life story. You may carry a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge, but if the inside of you is shaky, the weight of what you have cannot be held by the emptiness that you carry on the inside. I am, by God's grace, pretty educated. I do believe I have some percentage of wisdom. You understand what I'm saying? But I know at some point I was dealing with very personal struggles from trauma, from being molested, from mistakes that I did. So what I carried inside as a leader wasn't coming out, because if it tried to come out, the trauma and the pain pushed it back inside. So every leader must first lead themselves, not publicly, but privately, because it's very easy, Kemi, to be a public success and a private failure. So yes, to answer your question, it must be a deep personal introspection, have a conversation with the man and the woman in the mirror before you go and face people out there and tell them that there's a place I can take you.
Wow, I feel like saying pause, just like hold on a second. That's too much unloading. Gosh, honestly, do you know what you just said? It reminds me of this saying that is, you can't pour from an empty cup. But what you shared just now, for me, sounds like you can pour from an empty cup, but what you will be pouring would probably be trash and not great stuff. Gosh. I really love what you say about knowledge, wisdom. So you can have all these amazing things, but if you're broken inside, if you're not fixed, the weight of what you carry cannot be revealed, cannot be unearthed.
Absolutely, because it's like having a Range Rover Sport that looks good on the outside and everybody is admiring, but the ignition button is not working. So we'll see it from the outside, but the very important button that ignites the engine to make the car move is not working.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. These are some deep truths, deep words. Let's move on. So you deal with the human core, which is the software. So we can say that's the software of a leader. When you're coaching a successful executive who is, operative word, secretly obsolete, operative word, what's the one belief that they absolutely must delete to become future ready?
The one thing that they must first get rid of is others can do it and I cannot. I am coaching, by God's grace, 3 African presidents. And one of them, on the day of his inauguration, was as scared could be. But because of the trappings of power, it covered it up. So he was struggling privately. Because when I sat with him, he said he was made to believe from a young age that he doesn't have what it takes. In fact, they really had to convince him to run for presidency because of the family he's coming from. And this is not the Kenyan president, I must put that clear. So you must remove from you that everybody else deserves to do it and I cannot. And replace it with, I can do bad by myself. I know I have what it takes. And sorry for this French, I am the macaroni in the cheese. I am the big boy who can do it. You understand what I'm saying? I'm like that, the only mosquito in that net. You got to have a level of confidence that borders arrogance, because when you believe from the inside, the outside will start dancing to the tune and the beats of what you're saying on the inside. And then what you carry, then the world will partake of.
Wow. I am the macaroni in the cheese. I love that. Please put that in the chat function. I am the macaroni in the cheese. But Robert, you talk about arrogance on the verge of confidence. How do you then distinguish between both? So you're not allowing your arrogance to overtake your confidence. How do you work on that?
That now I put on my pastoral hat. There's the scripture that says, God exalts the humble, gives grace to the humble, and resists the proud. Now, when I talk to the people in our churches, I said humility is not lack of confidence, because people think humility is walking with a dropped head. Humility is talking in low tones. Now, confidence is knowing what you carry, no matter what anybody says. Arrogance is knowing what you carry, but using what you carry to make other people feel what they carry is not good enough to be around you. Now, I know what I carry, for example. I know I am, again, one of the greatest speakers this world has in this generation. That may appear very arrogant to somebody who has an identity crisis. But you know what? I believe. But if somebody around me feels that they don't have what it takes, then I use my knowledge to make them believe that they can also do it, as opposed to telling them, you don't have what it takes. Yeah, you know, you just got to clap for me kind of thing. So when you start making people around you feel that they don't have what it takes, then there's a level of arrogance. Or I think one of the quick fire questions is like, somebody says the worst thing somebody can have is thinking they know everything. Every time you make people feel that you know it all, then that's what we call arrogance. Confidence is, I know what I carry for now. It may be 20%. I want to get to 30% tomorrow. But even if I'm at 20%, don't make me feel I carry only 3%. I know what I carry. I want to be president of my country sometime soon. And you better pray for me, because one time I'll be a guest and you will introduce me as His Excellency the President. I believe it's going to happen. You understand? Other people think I'm crazy. So understand what you carry. Don't make any other person feel that what they carry is not worth being around you.
Fantastic. I love that. So it's about elevating yourself to the detriment of other people. Wow. Wow. I love the distinction there, because it's so important that we are confident as coaches and leaders and professionals, and not veer into the arrogance territory. Thank you for that. So my next question is about the World Economic Forum. Has projected that AI will automate up to about 44% of current job tasks in about 5 years' time, so by the year 2030. And emotional intelligence ranks among the top 5 global leadership gaps. So what, in your view, must leaders, and you've talked about coming across as you know it all, so what must leaders unlearn and relearn to remain relevant and influential in an intelligent economy?
All right. Thank you so much, Kemi. The one thing we must unlearn, that what put us there is enough to keep us there. The world has changed. We are going to artificial intelligence, super artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is where you can tell the computer, it will understand. Super artificial intelligence, the way we are going, we shall have levels whereby they think and reason even better than the most intelligent human being. It is said in 29 years, if you're not careful, we shall have an AI president. You understand? So we need to unlearn and stop thinking that what kept us there, took us there, will keep us there. And we now have to go down and start studying again. Because now, like in Kenya, for example, the Gen Z generation, they feel left out because we don't have enough computer labs, we don't have free internet all over the place, because that's what is moving the world. And if we don't, we're in trouble. And allow me to bring Africa into the picture. The big boys, the Elon Musks, in 10 years, he wants to take 1 million people to Mars. They're discussing all these crazy things, but they're not involving Africa. Why? Because we're not moving, we're just thinking. Like, for example, a president at 93 years is still running for elections. And then when he's told he has won the elections, he says, when were the elections? So we got to move to a place where if we don't raise these young people, I'm telling you, number one, Africa will not be as poor as a church mouse. Africa will be so poor that the poor will call them poor. So yes, we now need, at my age, to now say, I have a 21-year-old daughter doing law in the UK, that there are things she knows where the world is heading that I don't know. So I should not be embarrassed. As she's studying her books, I'm also studying if I want to keep up. Otherwise, then let me retire in some village in Western Province and just eat boiled maize and black tea. So we have to understand that we have to study. We have not to be, no more arrogance that, you know, I'm your father, we are the older generation. Well, they're passing us by. In our church, I was telling the Sunday school teachers, you have to change your level of teaching. You are teaching an AI generation citizenry. You are teaching the Bible, but your ways and the way you communicate and how you bring in these topics must change. I run a company. Kemi, 80% of my staff think AI. Now I have to think AI if I'm to take my company to the next level. Even as a coach now, this morning, I coached 24 people and only 2 were in Kenya. You know, you got to move. And then I coach somebody in the US. I coach another one in Great Britain, in Leicester. You know, we have to move. Gone are the days where somebody sits in my office and for 3 hours, I'm talking to one person. They can't seem to understand what I'm telling them. So what am I doing? We need to make money as well. One of the gentlemen said here, we got to make some money. I am not an NGO. So then I managed to get hold of these people and move on, because now I'm coaching somebody from Brazil. 2 minutes later, I'm concentrating from somebody in the US, all different thought processes, but I had to learn on how to meet the demands of different people who now can get me on LinkedIn and say, can you coach me? If it was just Kenya, some people come to me because I'm a public figure. I may not say a lot of intelligent things, but they'll be mesmerized by this guy they see on TV. So it's easy to hide away and run away from that. But now we have to up the game where somebody in the UK does not care. This is an actor or a radio presenter asking, do you have what it takes to push me to the next level?
Wow, absolutely love it. Guys, keep moving. I feel like singing that song. Is it Soul to Soul? Keep on moving, don't stop. No, keep on moving. Play that song. Keep on moving. Okay, because of time, Robert, I'm just going to ask you rapid fire sentence finishers. So I would like you to not think about this, just download to me anything that comes to your mind as I ask this question. So, the fastest way a leader becomes obsolete in the intelligent economy is by
not having Wi-Fi.
Too funny. Okay. To scale impact without sacrificing teams, you must.
So say that again. Sorry, say that again.
To scale impact, so we're talking about scaling your impact without sacrificing individuals, what must you do?
Believe in yourself.
Fantastic. I love that. The biggest strategic blind spot organizations face competing globally today is?
They have no competition.
I like that. And then finally, the one non-negotiable asset a leader or coach must guard in the emerging world of work is?
Integrity.
Integrity. Thank you so much. Wow. That was a loaded session. Wow. Culture shifts when leaders unlearn their fear-based loyalty. Feedback fails when truth isn't welcomed. Reinvention is now part of the leadership conduct, not a luxury. Wow. There's so many gems, so many things. I'm so grateful for this session. Thank you so much, Robert, for that session. Thank you for your depth, your wisdom, and the leadership that you continue to model. And to everyone in the audience, thank you so much. The world is advancing. Coaching must too. Reinvention, as Robert has said, is now part of the leadership conduct. And your next level begins where awareness, much of what we're talking about in this conference, begins. So if you missed any part of today, please catch the replay. There are major insights hiding between every sentence that you missed. So finally, I want to say on behalf of the, I want to say thank you to LCAN for the vision to raise coaches for this intelligent economy. Also, thank you to the Africa Coaching Week team for designing this space that allows us to stretch forward and not backwards. Thank you so much. We're not done yet. Please stay connected, and I'm sure I will hand over to Autumn. So over to you, Autumn, in the studio. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Kemi. Thank you, Robert. Thank you to our audience who has been keeping the chat lit. There has been conversation going. People have been making sure they capture the notes and sharing them. We want to encourage you to continue to share in the chat, but also continue to go online, because if we only talk together to each other, everyone else will not know that this is happening, and we will never grow as a community. So make sure that you share your notes, share your thoughts, share all of the insights you've gained today online. Make sure that you tag LCAN, LCAN _NG for Nigeria, and use the hashtag Africa Coaching Week. So tag LCAN _NG, tag hashtag Africa Coaching Week. All right, without further ado, our final high-level panel for today is a conversation with Ugodre Bola Matal Oko and Alora Agusa, and it is going to be moderated by Michelle Zhu. The topic is the Intelligence Economy Blueprint, Navigating Leadership and Wealth for Today and Tomorrow. Great. So with that said, I want to bring up Michelle Zhu. Michelle Zhu is a business leader, executive coach, and cross-cultural strategist with over 30 years of experience in the US and China. She is the founder and CEO of Pacific Technologies Consulting Group, where she provides corporate coaching, leadership training, and strategic consulting to empower professionals and organizations. Michelle is a former Microsoft executive, and she holds an MBA and a Master's of Science in Finance and a Master's of Arts in Happiness Studies. Ooh, I cannot wait to hear from you, because somebody who has a Master's in Happiness Studies, I just feel like I need you in my life, Michelle. I need you in my life. So I'm going to turn it over to you, and thank you for being with us this morning, afternoon, or evening, based on where you're at, Michelle. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Autumn. I'm now also doing the PhD program for the happiness studies. And hopefully someday soon, in a few years, I will be the Dr. Happiness.
I love this. There's going to be a Doctor of Happiness that we can go to. Cannot wait to hear more about all of this as we work through this next panel. Before I turn it fully over to you, actually, to introduce your panelists, I just want to ask one thing. I know we have a little over 20 minutes left for the rest of the day, and we have a few things we still have to get in after this panel. So we want to just ask everyone, all of our amazing panelists, Godre, Bola, and Alora, if you can just keep your responses to 1 to 2 minutes so that we can make sure we get through everything and we get to hear everything you have to share.
All right. So thanks for all this introduction. Now I'm going to introduce our speaker for this topic, which is the Intelligent Economy Blueprint, Navigating Leadership and Wealth for Today and Tomorrow. Our first panelist is Ugori Obi Chukwu. And he's the founder and CEO of Nairametrics Financial Advocates, a leading authority on Nigeria's financial and economic sectors. So that's an expert in the financial side. Welcome, Ugodri. And our next speaker would be, thank you. I know you are short of time. We will go through it really fast of the introduction. Our next speaker or panelist is Bola Mata Oko. She's a business leader and executive coach, a distinguished attorney, the CEO of BMO Advisory Services, and founder of the Women's Lifestyle Hub. Welcome, Bola.
Thank you for having me.
And we have Alor Agusa, who is the Chief Commercial Officer at Cassava Micro Insurance Limited, Africa's pioneering digital insurance company that's transforming how people experience protection. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Nico.
All right, we are going to jump into this immediately, given the time. And I know Ugodre needs to has a hard stop today. So I will first concentrate the question with Ugodre so that we would have your time, your wisdom to share with everyone. And remember, the topic is the Intelligent Economy Blueprint, Navigating Leadership and Wealth for Today and Tomorrow. This is a topic that is really dear to my heart because I worked in Microsoft in the tech industry for 30 years. So let's hear your wisdom. First, Ugodre, I would love to hear from you of your wisdom, that because you have built a trusted platform that shapes public understanding of money and markets. In today's intelligent economy, what shifts must individuals make in their mindset to create long-term wealth, not just immediately next day, right? Long-term wealth.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Let me just be sure that you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
All right, fantastic. Wow, that's as simple as that question is. It's pretty loaded. We are in a world now where technology is very pervasive. There's artificial intelligence, like we all know. There is DLT, which people also call blockchain, that has a life of its own. And then, of course, the world is dominated by a lot of young people who now, are living in a world that is attention-driven. So that basically changes how we all need to start to view long-term wealth, in my own view. So I think, in an intelligent way, if you're looking for long-term wealth preservation, there are a number of things that I would always tell people to do. The first is you want to always pay attention to what is going on geopolitically. And that is, when I say geopolitically, I mean around the world, because the world has become increasingly smaller. And there are different things happening in different parts of the world that could impact on your long-term wealth in a flash. Whether it is the financial system, whether it's the global flow of capital across the world, whether it is asset prices and where that is happening, whether it is even taxation. It's very important that you pay a lot of attention to all these things because they all have some kind of interconnection. And then I would also now add, I know you said let's get a response. I also add always look at what your children are doing. I always tell people, look at what your children are doing, because what they consume, what they are very interested in, it's usually a glimpse of what the future is and a glimpse of what will drive wealth in the future. So you got to constantly ask yourself, are you investing in those things that your children are very interested in, or are you at least partly invested in them? Because that is a glimpse of where wealth is going to go to in the future. So that is my nutshell response to your question.
Thank you. Wow, I wrote down the 2 key points: geopolitics, and the future, investing in the future, right? Because I live in Seattle in US, and I grew up in China. So this speaks very much to me with the US-China relationship changed dramatically, right, in the last few years. Totally
Few years, correct.
Yeah. And the second thing is investing in the future to see the
No,
trend.
focus on what your children are consuming, because they typically tell you where the world is going to in the future. Yeah.
That's the trend. Yes. Thanks for
exactly.
Yeah, that's the trend. Investing in those young people, your children, the next generation. That's the trend. That's the future. And I just want to add one thing to that. In some economies, like in China, in Japan, in some countries, it's the senior citizens. They are the ones, they become the bigger and the bigger portion of the country. So we can also look at what they need, right? We can also invest there as a way, area to build our wealth. Okay, next. I want to also ask you another question, because we're talking about this, and then I know you have a lot of experience in helping people building wealth. So if you were designing a wealth curriculum for tomorrow's leaders, what are some pillars would absolutely be non-negotiable? Give us the top 3 pillars that would absolutely be non-negotiable, must have.
Top 3, because there are actually quite a lot of them, and without ranking them, I think the first would be technology. Technology, because wealth these days is being underpinned by the technological advances that we're seeing. And I give you an example. 10 years ago, when you're talking wealth, you wouldn't put digital currencies or digital assets as one of those things that you want to own. 10 years ago, if you wanted to invest in Tokyo Stock Exchange, you wanted to invest in New York Stock Exchange, you probably need to open some complicated brokerage account, and you probably need to have some kind of level of investment or ownership. But now you can do this with a mobile phone. So I think technology is pretty important. And let me just even add another context to it. A lot of the asset growth in asset prices that we're seeing around the world, particularly in the US, is mostly driven by the Magnificent Seven, like we all know. And the Magnificent Seven companies are technological companies. So technology is very important. So if there are 3 things I would want to anchor on, I think technology is one. The second one is currency, and I would say currency because that is very important to some of us in sub-Saharan Africa. Very important because in a flash, if you have the wrong bet or the wrong projection around your currency holdings, that could essentially wipe out your entire wealth. So whether you're a businessman, whether you're HNI, and you're looking at how your wealth would be in the no distant future, or the wealth of your business, currencies is very, very important. And it's becoming I mentioned geopolitical issues before. It's becoming a very major geopolitical topic now because everybody's asking what's going to happen in the next 5 years. Is the dollar still going to be the functional currency globally, or are we going to have a new reserve currency?
Oops. I think the internet is having issues from Ugandri. We heard two things. Let me just summarize the top two. Then we are going to have other panels to share your wisdom. So top three, we got top two, technology and the currency. Man, technology, I live in this technology world for the past 30 plus years. Totally agree with that. Yeah, and the currency, think about today's global, the geopolitical issues, right? Definitely. Unfortunately, we didn't hear the third one, but that's already beautiful, beautiful juice treasure for us. Oh, I think, let's see if Ugodre is back.
Yeah, I am back. I don't know if you can hear me. Apologies for that. Yeah.
Very briefly,
so
give us your
so
number three.
Okay. Yeah, so the number three is very important, and I think I kind of hinted on that in my earlier comment, and the number three will be tax. So I've said technology, I've said currencies, I've said tax. Now, a distant number four will be interest rates, but I want to say tax because there's a huge problem around the world now, and that is going to be a major issue for world preservation, and that is fiscal policy. A lot of countries around the world, whether it's the UK, whether it's the US, if you pay attention to what is happening in those countries, even in China, everybody start asking themselves, how do we pay for the massive debt that the world has carried on for the last few years? And so if you're somebody who is looking at wealth preservation or looking at wealth and looking at the third thing that you want to anchor, I think you want to pay attention to what governments around where your businesses are, where your wealth is preserved, is thinking in terms of tax. The UK Chancellor recently just put up a budget increasing taxes for the rich again. And when you're talking about taxes across the world, it's typically the wealthy people that get targeted first. And so I think those three things are pretty important. I would say interest rates, but interest rates can be an advantage. But I think technology is very important for anyone. And of course, very important that you think about tax. Tax is very, very important as one of those as a third anchor that I think we should pay attention to. Thank you.
Thanks so much. That's very important for us to understand and to be reminded. Let's appreciate Ugodre. I know you are on the go. You're in the car. I really appreciate your wisdom you're sharing to us.
But I'll stay online and listening as well, though. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, if you feel you can jump in, just feel free to jump in when we have the rest of the discussion. But I'm not going to call on you because I know you're on the go. Thank you.
That's fine. Thank you.
All right. Now let's continue our discussion on this topic. In the intelligent economy blueprint, right? We're looking at not only wealth for today and tomorrow. We're also looking at leadership. So we have a executive coach and a leader. We have all of you are leaders. So let's go to Bola.
Hi, Michelle.
Yeah.
And we seem to be matching. We here.
We match our jackets. and our career, right? We all do coaching and we care deeply about women leadership, all these things. So I would love to hear from you because you coach leaders navigating uncertainty. What does intelligent leadership? This is a new word, right? Intelligent leadership. We have all these kind of different types of leadership, but here, because we're talking about the intelligent economy. So what does intelligent leadership look like in an economy where technology, remember Ugodre just mentioned technology is the top one, where technology is accelerating faster than organizational culture.
Thank you so much for that. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very clearly.
Okay. So we are in a VUCA economy, like you say. Things are changing and evolving. And one thing I saw a post last week that was so informative. It said that AI may not replace you, but AI, somebody who is able to harness AI may replace you. And the truth of it is that technology transforms systems, but it is culture that transforms people. So in this fast moving technological era, there seems to be a gap between technology and humans. And so what for me, intelligent leadership, I don't see anybody. Am I still in? Am I
Yeah,
still
you
here?
are still here.
Yeah.
You're being highlighted. I'm here.
Okay, yes. So I think what intelligent or leadership looks like for me is to be able to bridge the gap. How do you do that? You do that by understanding the strengths of AI and being able to carry your team along with you. I'm one of those people that two years ago, I would say with all, pride that I'm technologically challenged. But as an executive coach, I have seen firsthand how artificial intelligence can help me be more effective as a coach. And so that's really what I feel that an intelligent leader would also be able to understand, that it's not about tools. There used to be a time that we used to say that leadership is about having the right tools. AI is a tool, but then we also have empathy. We have empathy, we have emotional intelligence. And what emotional intelligence does that AI will not give you is that human perspective. I don't know about you, but every time I call a customer service line and I get an automated service, it really, really bugs me, because I want to be able to speak to a human being that will be able to understand the emotions and whatever I'm going through. So as a leader and an executive coach, I think that it is important for us to emphasize to people we're leading that, look, AI is not really an enemy, because like I said, I used to be one of those people that would say I'm technologically challenged and I take so much pride in it. But these days I'm able to put together presentations in record time because I'm able to harness the strength of AI. And the good thing about the human aspect of leadership is that it helps you to be able to look at AI and really look at it in a way that you take advantage of it in the best possible way. And I'm sure you can also attest to that, Michelle.
Yes, I love that. I love that. As coaches, right? I had so many conversations with my peers who are worried about we're going to replaced by AI. Coaches.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Is that me?
We can hear you.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
My computer has a mind of its own.
Yeah, we can hear you. No worries. So, as coaches, we are worried about being replaced by AI because we work with people, people to people level, but we are also worried. I love the point you mentioned, right? We can look at AI as a tool to enable us, empower us to be more productive, to get things done more efficiently and better, right? So with that mindset, then we wouldn't think that's an enemy taking over our job. But of course, there are ways for us to keep on upgrading ourselves in order to keep up with this technology.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Because the thing about it is that one of the good characteristics of great leaders is what I call agility, the ability to be able to pivot and be able to move with what is effective at any point in time. Because guess what? Apple is aware of this. That's why every once in a while they bring out a new phone. And as soon as they bring out the new phone, your phone becomes obsolete. And in the same way, if we are not able to harness AI effectively, we will become obsolete even as coaches and as leaders. Because guess what? People are evolving. Things are evolving. The world is changing. I always say that today's excellence is tomorrow's mediocrity. So what is working effectively today, by tomorrow, people are like, what was that? So AI is really a tool that can help us move with, technology and also make us effective overall.
Thank you. Now let's move to Allure, because Allure is using technology to help people, right? And Allure, your work in digital insurance. Yes. You are very much cutting edge. Digital insurance, it really putting you at the heart of risk protection and financial security. You help people on their financial side differently than you go helping create finance and wealth. Here you help people also protect our wealth. So what must today's professionals understand about protecting wealth in an uncertain economy?
Thank you, Michelle. Thanks for having me. So, in today's economy, wealth is no longer defined only by income. You find that wealth is defined in recent times by resilience. So, because today's economy moves fast, so does risk. So professionals must understand that uncertainty is now constant. You have things like job disruption, you have market volatility, you have health shocks, you have unexpected financial risks, and so on. So wealth is not defined by income alone; it is defined by resilience. Now, a single shock, like a job loss, like illness, like accidents, or debts, can wipe out years of progress. So any income without a safety structure or around it, or I mean, can disappear overnight. So insurance is no longer an option. It is a fundamental financial instrument. The biggest mistake, is assuming that wealth grows by addition. In reality, wealth grows by protection. As we grow, we earn higher incomes, we begin to have more responsibilities, we begin to have bigger families, and then our exposure begins to widen. So wealth protection must evolve accordingly. Now technology, now allows people to automate protection to avoid financial setbacks, and recover faster, even if there is, a setback. It allows us to create safety nets instantly, affordably, and automatically. So those who adopt these tools early will have the strongest foundations for long-term success. That shift is very critical in an uncertain world like this. So if you don't protect your income, your health, your digital footprint, your dependence, you are one event away from starting again. The intelligent economy rewards people who build shock observers, like insurance, like emergency buffers, like diversified income, and then, digital safeguards. So wealth is not just what you earn, wealth is the ability to retain. Thank you.
Wow. Wealth is the ability to retain what you have earned, right? Wow. That's really powerful. What I got from you is I love the what you mentioned. Wealth is also defined by resilience. And I learned from what you mentioned, right? I think insurance is a must have today. It's not something nice to have, right? It's really must have. Okay, wonderful. So go back to Paula. As we kind of touched on about AI, because AI is reshaping work, reshaping many parts of our life today. And to give us a high-level summary from your point of what you think competences, what kind of competences will distinguish leaders who thrive from those, right? From the AI, from these changes, and from compared to those who fade in such kind of rapid change. Bola, you are muted.
Thank you so much, Michelle. One of the first thing I'm going to talk about, I actually touched on in my last, when I answered the last question, and that's agility, which is the ability to be able to not, I always say that when things happen, we can respond or we can react. A reaction is when you're not prepared. So you're kind of going with the flow. But when you respond, you are kind of just moving with the situation. So I think we have to have great agility. That's one of the competencies, the ability to be able to adjust, to unlearn, to learn. Because many people think agility is just about learning. It might be about unlearning the things that you have done in the past. So agility is the first one. The second one that I will talk about is what I call strategic judgment. How does that work? It's about using the AI with great insight, but not surrendering the human discernment and context, right? So I was talking to my assistant the other day. I had asked her to work on a presentation. And as soon as I saw it, I said, you basically went on ChatGPT, asked the question and brought it back to me. And I said, look, there's nothing wrong with using AI, but we still have to use what I call strategic judgment, look at it and not surrender our own independent ability to think. Because what makes us unique as human beings is the ability to think and to reason. And so that's something that AI will never be able to do. So because when you impute information into any AI tool, it just basically tells you what it's stored in its mind like a computer. So that human reasoning and strategic judgment is something that we still have to be able to have. Then the next one is what I call emotional and social intelligence. That is about leading with fear. Change, trust, and relationship. Emotional intelligence means that if I'm talking to people I'm leading, I can kind of read the mood of what I'm saying. The worst thing is to talk to a room full of people and they're not receiving what you want to communicate the way you want them to receive it, and you are totally oblivious of what is happening. Because that happened to me at a time and it has helped me grow as a leader. So you must have that emotional intelligence to use AI in such a way that you get the results that you're looking for. And then also you have what I call ethical authority, which is using AI in a way that, you are not using it to get the credit that you don't necessarily deserve, because you just basically put out everything that you got from an AI tool. I mean, in the old days, they used to talk about plagiarizing. And I think there will come a time. I remember I went to a conference and I asked the question that will there be a time where AI companies that run AI tools will actually be held liable, right? Because there are people that rely totally upon these AI tools, and I can see a time when people will sue an AI tool company and say, I relied on the information you gave me and it affected me in an adverse manner. So we must be able to use what I call ethical judgment to be able to know when, we really should not totally rely upon these AI tools. So I think those are the four things I want to talk about when it comes to competences.
Wow, great. Agility, strategic judgment, emotional and social intelligence, and ethical authority.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm so glad to hear you included ethical authority as one of this, because many times when leaders, and including us, right, consumers are using AI, we forget about this. But this is really looking into the future. What could go wrong and what could be the fundamental things, right? Today, we're just using the tools, but what's the fundamental things we need to think as a human? Yeah, Thank you. Wonderful. Now, with limited time, I want to just really quickly to the next question, because I have prepared some good questions. Really want to get some very, very helpful insights from all of you. Okay, let's look at Allure. Let's go to let's see. I will go to Allure again, right? Your company, Cassava. This is an insurance company, digital insurance, and it's redefining insurance for the digital age. What lessons can leaders and entrepreneurs learn from your approach to innovation, accessibility, and scale?
Thank you, Michelle. So at Cassava, we focus on one principle, simplifying protection for people. We design products that people can understand, people can afford, and access from their phones. We automate processes so that there are little frictions. We build partnerships because, scale happens faster when you integrate with ecosystems rather than working alone. Um, there are lessons any leader or entrepreneur can adopt. One key lesson is that innovation must start with inclusion, not technology. Cassava, was built on around a simple question: how do we protect millions of Nigerians who have never had access to insurance? So the approach created a few powerful lessons for leaders. One, solve a real painful problem, not a glamorous or theoretical one. So at Cassava, we focus on everyday realities. Like I mentioned earlier, job loss, debt recovery, medical emergencies, and SME vulnerabilities. Most Nigerians are one medical bill or accident away from financial distress. That's the real problem to solve. Now, two, we remove friction and make our products simple, accessible, and human. If people don't understand a solution, they won't adopt it. So we build products that are priced in small, flexible payments, delivered digitally and easy to use. If people need to fill forms, they need agents, they need branches, and long processes, scale will die. So we use digital onboarding, automated claims, embedded insurance to remove friction entirely. Now we also use data, to enhance trust. We use technology to remove friction, automation, APIs, BVN, NIN verification, to provide instant onboarding for our clients. People want speed and convenience. So the intelligent economy thrives on transparency. So digital footprints and maybe behavioral insights, allow us to personalize coverage and reduce fraud. And then, of course, we make protection accessible, subscription payments, micro premiums, instant activation to remove, psychological barriers of insurance, is for the elite. Then we build trust, through transparency. Like I mentioned earlier on, we scale through partnerships with banks, fintechs, employers, aggregators, agencies, and so on, and not by operating in isolation. So innovation is not about complexity. It's about making protection simple, affordable, and accessible to everyone. Thank you.
Wonderful. Oh, I can resonate with you deeply because I was a product manager at Microsoft years ago. And we start, right, as you mentioned, start with a real pain point, not something we invented. It's a real pain point. Then we need to consider user experience, remove the friction, and make it accessible and scalable to people. Yeah, I love it. I think it's not only using technology to create something, it's really solve a fundamental problem, a very important need, meeting very important needs that people have. Thanks so much for these entrepreneurs like you to help the world become even better. All right, now let's go back to Bola, my dear coach. So you've worked across corporate and entrepreneurial ecosystems. What blind spots do leaders have today that will cost them wealth, influence, or opportunities in the future? Blind spots, yeah.
Wow. Okay, I will start by talking about confusing past success with future relevance, right? Because I said before about how what is excellent today is mediocre tomorrow. And so whatever, we cannot look at what has built success in the past and just rely on that and not be able to have the agility to change and become better. The world is changing. The techniques that worked in the past, in 10 years ago, even last year, techniques that worked last year are not relevant, again. And so when we are static and not growing, we run the risk to become obsolete. Also, we have to be able to all understand the cultural risk. Leaders still lose fortunes through toxic culture, So we must understand the cultural risk that we face in some of the things that we do. So that would help us to be successful going forward. And the most important thing I want to talk about, because we're talking about tech now, is that a lot of people keep thinking that AI is a tech issue, but it's really a strategy issue, because more and more we're using AI to come up with the strategies that we want to be able to use. And so we cannot delegate AI to like the tech people. We have to understand that it's strategy, and so it's the job of management to be able to figure it out. And the last thing I will talk about is ignoring your personal brand and your digital presence. A couple of years ago, I made the decision to intentionally build my brand visibility, and a lot of people don't do that. But if you are going to be able to continually be successful, then you must intentionally build your personal brand and digital presence. So I think for me, those are the 4 points that I would highlight as far as that is concerned. So confusing past success with future relevance, understanding cultural risk, treating AI as a tech issue and not strategy, and ignoring your personal and your digital presence, Because sorry, let me just say this about digital presence, because where you cannot go to personally, you can go to digitally. So more than ever before. I mean, I'm in New Jersey, I'm in the United States. So look at what we're doing. Alor, I don't know where he is. I heard you say you're in Seattle. So that just tells you the power of digital presence.
Yeah. And Alor, where are you?
I'm in Lagos, Nigeria.
Look at that. That's the power of digital presence. So yeah.
Right. I feel we are so connected here, right? Yeah. And Bola, you mentioned risk, and I want to address this question to Alor, who is the expert of
the risk guru.
Managing the risk. Yes, yes. So as you mentioned, right, Alor, the resilience is really important. The resilience of your wealth, for what you have, right, including your health, right, is really important. But many people they chase wealth, but ignore resilience structures. And what are the most overlooked systems that can safeguard prosperity for the long term?
Yeah, so thank you, Michelle. I totally agree. Many people chase growth and forget about stability. The long-term protectors of prosperity are, like I mentioned earlier, insurance, emergency buffers, like proper documentation, multiple income channels, and most importantly, strategic mentorship networks. Prosperity is not built by hustle alone. It's built by strategy. I see a few systems that people consistently overlook, and let me mention one. I already talked about insurance. So the foundation of a resilient economy is insurance. So if you have a health cover, you have a job loss protection insurance, you have a life insurance, you have credit protection, and maybe SMA risk cover. They prevent financial derailment. right? So most people will prefer to insure their cars before even insuring their income. Yet the income pays for every other thing. Then you must, digital identity protection is also another challenge. You talk about cyber risk as we go. You talk about protecting your data. You talk about accounts and transactions, becoming part of wealth preservation. Then you talk about automation of financial discipline. You automate your savings, you automate your investments, you automate your protection. These automations remove the human inconsistency, right? Then we talked about emergency buffers earlier. You cannot build wealth if your life collapses at every shock, right? You must diversify your income and skills. The intelligent economy rewards adaptability, right? And then you must build strong networks. Wealth is sustained by access to information, to opportunities, and to guidance. So wealth is not built by desire, it is built by systems. A strong system, when you have, the strongest systems are the ones that keep you financially standing when life hits. Thank you.
Great. Well, you reminded us to bring this system thinking, right? Not just look at the points. Yeah. Think about the strategies, think about this overall picture, and make sure you have all these things, a system built. Wonderful. Yeah. I know our audience may also have questions, and it's a good time for our audience. If you have questions, type into the chat, and I think Autumn or others will watch that, and then hopefully, because we are the last session for today, hopefully we will have the luxury to answer one or two questions from the audience. And before that, I will also just do this rapid fire question. I really loved it. I watched these sessions. I said, "Oh, that's great!
Rapid fire."
Let's get ready. Let's get ready. The same way, right? I'm going to give you a half of the sentence, or which is a question, and you finish it, and we will do the same sequence. So it will be just really fast. After I finish my part, then Bola, you will just continue the sentence, and then Allure, you will finish the sentence. Okay. The first one, leadership in the intelligent economy requires
human judgment amplified by technology, not replaced by it. So human judgment amplified by technology. Yes.
Wonderful. And Allure?
I would say adaptability, emotional intelligence, and data-driven decision making.
Oh, great. And I would also, because I can't stop myself to add to this one, I would say leadership in the intelligent economy requires innovation and empathy. Yeah. All right. Okay. So the second question, the biggest wealth mistake people still make is?
I would say chasing short-term income instead of looking at the long term, because a lot of people, we want to make money and we want to make money now, but you really have to be able to think for the long term. So yes.
So I would say building income without building protection.
Okay.
Wow. Great. And the future belongs to leaders who can
learn first and unlearn faster.
Lovely.
Learn fast, then unlearn faster.
Learn and unlearn, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say who can blend technology with human insights to solve real problems.
Nice.
And I would say the future belongs to leaders who can think long-term, strategically, and act strategically. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. The last one is my one one sentence, okay, just one sentence, don't elaborate too much. My one sentence advice for navigating tomorrow's economy is
invest in your inner capacity as aggressively as you invest in your external growth. And I say this to people when I coach them all the time, that building capacity on the inside is what helps you thrive on the outside.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful.
That makes me thinking of what to say. Okay, so I would say build systems that make you resilient emotionally, financially, and digitally.
Wow. Wow. Oh, beautiful. Oh, by the way, I want to add Bola, on top of yours, I think just keep on learning. Never stop learning.
Never stop learning.
Growing yourself. Okay, so I see Autumn is here, but before we leave, and what's one thing, or what are the ways audience can connect you on social media? Because we're all over the world.
Yeah.
Just briefly.
Okay. All right. So mine is so simple. You can Bola at Bola Mataloko on Instagram, at Bola Mataloko on LinkedIn, at Bola Mataloko on Facebook. It's easy.
So mine
yeah.
is so similar. Alo Agusa, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram.
I love it. Nice, clear, direct, memorable, simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel I'm like outdated because I don't use much as Facebook and Instagram. I only use LinkedIn. So
that might be why you're so happy.
Yes, by the way, that's one of the strategies for people to stay. If you want preserve your time and your well-being, your happiness, one of the thing is spend less time on social media. So in the past many years, I start to reduce my social media. So find me on LinkedIn. All right, thanks everyone for being here, including our dear Ugodre, who has to leave earlier, but he also contributed great insights. So thanks Bola, thanks Alor, and what a wonderful session we had.
Yes.
And now
I learned a lot.
Yeah, we all learn a lot. And now I'm handed over to Autumn. Thank you.
All right, we'll take that over. Thank you once again to all of our panelists and to Michelle for moderating. To everyone who has been here the entire time or who has joined for part of it, thank you. To wrap up today and in closure, before we do our final, before we do the final review of the things we've had, we want to first bring back our chairperson for the 2025 Africa Coaching Week Organizing Committee, Dr. Emmanuel Eme, which is one of the places where it all started. On our first panel was with Dr. Emmanuel as a moderator, so we're going to bring him back. There you are, Dr. Emmanuel. If you so much. In 1 minute could give us your closing remarks and any last words that you want to leave everyone with as we conclude this year's Africa Coaching Week activities.
Thank you so much. I just want to say a very big thank you to all our facilitators and all the panelists. You guys are flat awesome. From the US to the UK to South Africa, East Africa, West Africa, and who knows where people are joining from. I want to say a very big, thank you. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you so much to the ELCAN governing body, and also for the ELCAN executive, the Life Coach Association of Nigeria executive, the governing council, especially to the president, Omar Ogbe, and the vice president, Tolu Afonja. I want to say a very, very big shout out to all the executive members that work so hard. The organizing committee, you guys don't know what these men and women have been through, day and night, meetings at all times, early morning, late nights, everything, while dozing, while driving. I just want to say, may God bless all of you all. The Africa Coaching Week 2025 couldn't have been what it is without you guys. And for those of you who maybe you missed, people have sent me messages, that they missed the session, please go back. It's on YouTube. Just search for Elkan on YouTube, and also search for Elkan on LinkedIn so that you can relive the moment. I'm definitely going to be reliving it. I'm making changes in my career, in my life, in everything I do, because we want to fast forward. So thank you so much. If Oma is there, I would like to call her up, and you are looking at the pictures of all the great men and women that made all these things happen. And of course, not forgetting the entire Elkan community, home and abroad. Thank you so much. Oma, are you there? And here are our great sponsors. Oma,
Yes,
over to you.
I am here, and I want to thank you all. Thank you to our speakers. I know that it's Thanksgiving Day. Bola Mataloko is celebrating with her family. Michelle is celebrating and all of that. So we're very grateful. Thank you for the insights. Thank you for, all of the things that you have shared. Like Autumn said, we've all been taking notes. It's just amazing. And if Autumn can, come back up so that we will, take a group photo. If we have any of our speakers here as well, yes, we'll just take a group photo before we leave. And I sincerely want to thank everyone who have joined in. The comment session is fire. I was so grateful. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. God bless you. And happy Thanksgiving, and enjoy the rest. Autumn, I bring it back to you to take us into a close. Thank you. You have been phenomenal. The best hosts we could ever, think of. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you so much for including me. This has been a complete honor, and it has just been so filling today. It's given me a lot, especially as we have 1 month before next year. So this has given me a lot to go back to the big board at home where I write all the ideas, the goals, and to be able to really sit down and rethink, especially around business. So much that was shared today was good around personal life, your business, and just thought and how you approach both. And for coaching, but also any other business, any that you might be immersed in, anything else that you might be doing as an entrepreneur, it was so applicable across. So there we have a lot. I think one of the biggest things taking away was around our confidence. I'm going to stick with that because we talked about humility, and actually being humble is not a negative thing. It doesn't mean that you're being timid, but the awareness around it. We talked about confidence with pricing. There's a lot of talk about that. And if we want to scale, having our confidence in what it is, knowing our value in what it is that we do. I love when Olivier talked about hours. We cannot create more hours, right? There are only 24 hours in the day. And so if you keep just thinking about how you price as hours, you're not going to be able to create more hours. But if we start to look at the value of what it is that we're bringing, then we can price for value, not having fear around that. So the other thing I'll say that we heard through and through on every single one was around systems and processes. Systems and processes if we're looking forward, systems and processes if we want to scale, systems and processes if you're just setting up. So really being clear about defining what those systems and processes are for you. So hope that all of those things, be able to take a look through the chat. There might be things that other people caught that you missed that make you go, and be sure to share them on social media. So few things we want everyone to do. All right. Get ready, get your thumbs ready. The first one is go on social media and follow Elkan on all social media platforms. So maybe you're not on all social media platforms. That means whatever social media platforms you're on all of those, okay? So like our Doctor of Happiness just told us, she's on one, then follow it on that one. If you're on 3, follow it on the 3. And the way that you find Elkan is at Elkan_NG. At LCAN_NG. So that's step 1. The step 2 is I want everybody to really reflect on what you heard today. And then, yes, that's going to be the third one. Everyone take a moment to reflect on what you learned today. One of the last things we just talked about in this last session with Bola was around building your personal brand and having a digital presence. Wherever your digital presence is, let them know that you participated in this year's 2025 ACW. right? Let them know that you were present and that you were listening and that you were a part of this. Share your reflection online. And when you do share that reflection online, be sure to add your thoughts to it. So you can share a piece of what you heard today, but then give your take on it, give your spin on it, and then make sure that you, of course, tag LCAN_NG and hashtag Africa Coaching Week. All right, third thing is email membership@lcan.ng. membership@lcan.ng, and that is how you can join the Life Coaches Association of Nigeria. So if you're not already a member, what better time to become a member? Do it before the year is over so it does not go to next year's resolutions. Do it now. And then your last one is get a copy of the digital magazine, and you can see it there on the screen, the ACW Digest. All you have to do is go to selar.com/ACW Digest 25. So it's right there on the screen for you, so you can type that. All right, so be sure that you reflect on today, share your thoughts so you can amplify your own digital presence and be a part of the community by emailing membership@lcan.ng, and make sure that you download your digest, your digital digest today. All of that, we are now concluding today. So I want to thank you again, Oma as the president, Dr. Emmanuel for chairing this year's organizing committee for ACW. So round of applause to both of you and to the entire committee that helped to bring this amazing week together, this phenomenal lineup of speakers who have participated, organizing the gala that happened. Thank you, thank you, thank you on behalf of everybody who joined today and everybody who will watch this. And if there's anything that you want to go back and catch again, you can come right on back to this YouTube, watch it in the future. If there's somebody who you know needed to hear a piece of this, share it with a friend and make sure that you don't just keep it for yourself. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day or evening.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And that's a wrap. Thank you to our incredible host, Otto Marie. Was so grateful for your time. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.